Hey, welcome. This is episode 6 of Bob and Scott Talk Lions.
Lions.
Lions. Yep. Awesome. So, a victory over St. Mary's School for the Blind, aka the Washington
The
Commanders.
Generals.
And it's just they're so injured up. Sound like a team you remember that played the Washington Commanders back in the playoffs last year?
Hmm.
We had a moment. All right. So there's this lady that sits behind me, a young lady that sits behind me at the Lions games, and we were watching the Minnesota game, even though I promised I wouldn't bring it up again, but here I am doing it. And we got about a quarter into it, and she says, this game reminds me of last year's playoff game against the Commanders. And it was just kind of that we were just a little off the entire game, and so it's good that we got a chance to play the Commanders this week and
And,
right the ship.
and is that when you yelled, "You shut your mouth"?
Well, I mean, that was the thing is that she was right. That game felt
Uh,
like the playoff game. It just
True.
everything we did didn't work. All of our tricks didn't trick.
Why are we talking about that game?
Because we played the Commanders this week and we made
And we
up
did that
for
to
that
them.
playoff game.
Okay.
So, awesome game. I mean, I think we had 7 drives and each of them, except for the very last one, when Allen, uh, did the victory formation, went for a score
Yeah.
every single drive,
No punts.
over 500 yards of offense. Um, Everybody got involved in the game, and what do you think the craziest thing was?
What was the craziest play in the game?
No, just the craziest thing that happened. Besides all the political stuff, we won't even mention that, but the biggest change I thought was Dan Campbell
Oh yeah.
holding a clipboard, wearing these glasses.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's
in
why you had those on.
yeah, and respect to Dan Campbell. So,
Okay.
so that's our preamble for the game. Do you want to make a dedication next?
Yeah, we're gonna dedicate each episode to a great line in history, and we figured we'd start out with the only Lion who gave his entire life for the Lions, Chuck Hughes. Chuck Hughes played for the Lions in 70-71, and he died on the field. I was actually at that game.
You're kidding me.
No,
How old were you? 3?
10.
Holy shit,
And
really?
yeah, my dad took me and we were kind of in the end zone up a bit. And I remember that he went out for a pass and he was the decoy and Charlie Sanders dropped the pass near the end zone. We were probably in about the 35 heading towards, they were coming at us.
Uh-huh.
Uh, the next play was getting ready to go off, and Dick Butkus, noticed that there was a line lying on the field. No one noticed it because he just dropped, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Butkus goes, I said, I swear to God to you, I was 10 years old, and I could hear him clear as day go, "Hey, ref, get this guy off the field," right? It was like, I gotta tell you, Dick Butkus was terrifying and intimidating.
So it wasn't, hey, help this guy. It's
No,
like,
no, it was
this guy's on the field.
get him
Get him
off,
off.
get him off the field. And so they came out,
Hmm.
and it was kind of a murmur after a minute because he was laying there a while, and then someone ran off the field, and then they came running at a dead sprint back on the field, and then people really started to murmur,
Hmm.
and someone behind us, they had like an instrument or whatever they were to use, and someone behind us was saying, they said maybe he swallowed his tongue. Now I'd never heard of such a
Yeah,
thing,
I've heard of that.
and
Epileptic
yeah,
seizures, you do that. Yeah.
so I turned to my dad and I said, "Dad, that guy says he swallowed his tongue," and my dad goes, "Oh, you can do that," and I'm like, "What?" So that was like, lesson number one, right?
Yeah.
So then they took him off the field, obviously, and then I swear to you, we're driving home in the car,
Hmm.
and I don't even think we've gotten, like, we're on the surface roads,
Hmm.
we haven't even driven very far, And you remember Van Patrick,
Yeah, I remember Van Patrick. Yeah, he's a big guy.
former Lion
Yep.
announcer. Great, great. There were great announcers in Detroit
Yeah.
and all
I think he's
TV
in
and
the
radio.
Sports Announcers Hall of
Yeah.
Fame. So
Anyway, he goes, I swear, and maybe it's just 10-year-old me, but I swear he said, sad news, Lions fans. And then he basically said Chuck Hughes died on the field.
holy
And they just, it was that matter of fact about it. It was like, and it really made me think about like now, it'd be
Mhm.
like, we'd probably have,
They
I
would
don't
have
know.
stopped. They would stop the
And
game.
they would do so many things, and that's all good, right? But like back then, it was like way more hardcore. It's like, well, let's move on, It was
Yep.
like, holy
Well, he had
cow.
hardening of the arteries. That's what he died from. And it was his moment. I mean, it wasn't because he got hit. It
Well,
wasn't because,
he in a game weeks before he did get hit, and was complaining of some pains, but he was like, I'm okay.
well, that was what you did back
And then,
then.
right, and then uh he, he played first for the Eagles
Oh,
from 67 to 69, and then 70 and 71 he played for the Lions.
all right.
Uh
And then who did he play for after that?
God.
Okay. St. Peter. Well, Lions in history. Chuck Hughes is our first.
Yeah, there you go. The
Yep.
only one who gave it all for the Lions.
Yep.
And can anyone else truly be considered a Lion? They didn't die for the Lions like Chuck Hughes, did
No.
they?
Well, no, I mean, I know players that have, put themselves out there enough to die. It's like
Well, we'll have to though.
all
There'll
right.
be a barometer to judge by.
And he
Oh,
made
he made a good play, but did he?
did he die for
Did
the team?
yeah?
No, no, he didn't.
No, he did
He's
not.
no Chuck Hughes.
No, he's no
So
Chuck Hughes.
so if he were a player on this year's team, who would he be?
Brock Wright.
He'd be Brock Wright.
Now it would be
Yeah.
about what he'd be on the team.
So
Hmm.
so there's some really good things that happened in this game.
Yeah.
So first, I want to hand it out to the offensive line because even though Coyote Awasika had replaced Christian Mahogany at one point,
Who
uh,
broke his leg?
broke his leg and he's out for the year. Well, he's out for a long time, Dan Campbell says, not for the year. So he's not. He could come back if we need him in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, but Coyote Awasika played great, and Graham Glasgow actually played pretty well until he got injured, and then Tristan Colon came in, and coincidentally, I'm driving this. I drive people to the airport for a living, and I was driving this person to the airport, and when I was driving her back, she goes, "Yeah, there's a lion that lives on our street next door to me." I go, "Who is it?" "Well, he's a backup, but he played this week. He's the backup center." And I went, "Tristan Colon lives next door to you? What?" So he lives right in our neighborhood someplace, and he's got like 4 kids.
Whoa.
I know, and he's a youngster too, man. So anyway, he did a great job, and then number 58 went down for a bit, and
I was worried about that.
I know, and Skipper came in and played awesome right guard for him. I mean, here's the thing. We're playing Washington or the Blind Sisters of the Covenant, whoever. So it's hard to say how well everybody played because the competition was a little lower. It's an NFL team any given Sunday. I mean, we got beat by a lousy team last week who
Don't discount it.
I know
That's what I say. It's a win. We
wins
won.
a win's a win's a win. Yep. A
Like,
different team scored 44 points yesterday or on Sunday.
yeah, that was weird,
I
wasn't
know, no
it?
kidding. That's not a normal score,
One of
man.
those odd things that
So,
the
so,
code to the universe reveals itself if one
so
more team does it.
it's weird that, so Dan Campbell starts calling plays, right? And the funny thing was that the NFL, the announcers on Fox just didn't notice. And it's like,
That's right. I had people from all over, from New York, from Chicago,
mhm.
texting me, right?
Is Dan Campbell calling
Is
plays?
he calling the play?
And
I think he's calling the
I
play.
walked into the bar late and he'd already gotten a seat. And I'm going, "Hey, Dan Campbell's calling plays." I'd heard it on the radio, and they're still talking about how Johnny Morton's calling a great game here, and Johnny Morton's doing this. And I'm just like, Johnny Morton ain't doing shit, man.
Johnny Morton has been sent to the corner and he didn't get his cheese sandwich.
Yeah, and they even had a shot of Johnny Morton when in the tele thing. It's like, and he's clearly not calling plays. He's just sitting up there, kind of watching the game, and then they shoot Dan Campbell with the glasses on, going, you know,
But you gotta love Dan Campbell because number one, he did something about it. He
yep,
didn't just go, "Oh, look, my team's falling off a cliff. Oh boy."
no,
No, he was like, "That ain't gonna happen." And
yeah,
then the other thing is, he also picked the guy up. I mean, it's no bigger demotion other than he could have fired him, right?
right.
But he just sat him.
Said,
It was like, "You're not calling the plays." But he said after, "Oh, I need him. He helped me. He did this. He did that." And you know what? When you think about it, if he's a coordinator of the offense, he
mhm.
doesn't have to call the
No, I mean,
plays.
there's lots of teams where the head coach is the play caller, and there's an
And
offensive coordinator or a defensive
and this
coordinator.
guy just didn't obviously know how to get the flow
Look,
right and call the plays.
nobody knows the team better than Dan Campbell. That's the thing. He knows what's needed next. He knows who needs to be included in the game. He knows how to mix the mix. He just, how to say, let Brad cook, let Dan cook. Dan was cooking. I mean, he got the things I liked better is that he got our third receiver back into the game. So he got, Cleve Raymond was out there. He caught 5 catches. This is his best game in years. And he got
Got Monty in
Yep,
there.
and Jameson Williams was involved. Isaac Tesla was involved. Monty. The only thing he did was like what Johnny Morton was doing was he would put in Jameer Gibbs for the opening drive, all right, and he'd be there for the whole drive, and then that was his drive, and then Montgomery would come in for the second drive, and if it was only 3 and out, well, that was his drive, and then Jameer Gibbs would come in for the next drive. He had them both out there a couple times. He had Dan Skipper as a wide receiver one time.
That route he ran looked like he was jogging out in the rain to get his newspaper or something.
And then the play goes down the field as a running play. Then the play starts heading down the field. He started jogging out there. I'm gonna help. It's like you won't catch Jameer Gibbs. What's wrong with you, young
He
man?
looked more like he was water skiing slowly than he was running.
6'8" and 340 pounds, man. The guy's a mountain.
Yeah, but I reserve my right to, complain and bitch bitterly about it.
So, and it even took him a while to get the tight ends involved too because they didn't need them like they usually need them. But once they did, boy, you have all these parts of the engine running, and how do you stop that?
Dan Campbell made the difference, and we needed that.
You
And
know?
we went and we played in the weather
Yep,
outside, which is a great lead up
yep.
because we've got to go do it again.
Do it against Philly, and so Philly, and I get home late on Monday. Oh, let's turn on the game. Let's see how Philly's kicking Green Bay's ass. Let's see how that 0-0 when I tuned in the
This
game.
was possibly the most boring game of the universe.
Unless you like defense.
My cousin and I watched the first half, and at the end of the first half, it's 0-0. And I said, I think I'm going to go home. And he goes, I've been waiting for how long until you would say that. It was so no one could do anything.
No. So
But they won. Philly won. Yay.
so now
We're in
Lions
first
hit.
place
We're in first place in the North.
along with
They're tied with the Bears.
Caleb Williams.
So Green Bay's in third place in the North.
Nice.
So but they're still number 6 or number 7 on the playoff chart. I mean, they're clearly there's just 7 teams that are going to make it because San Francisco wasn't up to the task of beating LA. LA just stomped them. Carolina, couldn't repeat their success after beating Green Bay.
It's the haves and the have-nots, right?
Right, I know. And so you have all these teams that were on the verge of, participating. And so it's just going to be, Philly and Detroit, Green Bay and Chicago, the LA and Tampa Bay. That's
It's
it.
okay though, because we're going to give those other teams a participation trophy.
Like we used to get every year. So a couple of injuries. Panay Sewell got injured, went into the tent, got his leg wrapped up, came back out, ran out, celebrated a touchdown, went back in the tent because it's like he was testing his knee or his leg and said, "Here, you got to wrap up this part." And then he was great for the rest of the game.
He's a
Um,
tough guy.
yep. And then Graham Glasgow also got injured, and Tristan Colon was in for a whole big chunk of the game. But then Glasgow came back in and finished the game.
I've heard, I don't know where I heard it, but I've heard Glasgow's a very funny guy.
He's hilarious. He's got super dry humor, and if there's ever funny stuff being said, it's usually attributed to Graham Glasgow. So I've heard in a number of podcasts that he's just hilarious. Then also, Terry and Arnold got a concussion, and so he was held out of the game again for the second half.
I hope he plays next week.
Yeah, me too. That would be bad if he didn't. So,
Um, he played great.
yep. He actually made one where he kept his hands off the guy until the ball showed up, and then you know, blocked the pass. So,
I saw something on TikTok where it was some interview from the past from him, and he talked about when JMO showed up at Alabama,
mhm.
and they put him out. He was in this one group, and they were going against the offense, and JMO was in the group, and JMO went out and he caught a pass out in the flat, and the defenders all took an angle,
Mhm.
including Terry and Arnold, and JMO just like he just went by them like and like everybody he said Nick Saban and all the coaches and all the players and Terry and Arnold at the same time everyone was like, ooh, we've got something here.
Man, wasn't Jameer Gibbs there too?
Yeah, yeah, they got a lot of guys from there.
What a team. All right, so we're looking at Philadelphia Sunday Night Football
Sunday Night Football.
in Philadelphia. We don't know if there's going to be weather or not. We don't know how good Philly is because I saw nothing on Monday night.
No, but they are certainly not nothing. They won the Super Bowl last year, and they've been close for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. Well, I
And
mean, remember that this was the game that was supposed to happen. This is what everybody's waiting for last year because we were supposed to beat Washington. They were going to beat Green Bay, and we were going to meet, right? This is going to be the big game. And then we screwed it up. So this is finally happening, man. We haven't played them in a while. And we
no,
beat them last time we played them. So
well, yeah, and it's going to be fun, and I'm looking forward to it.
got a prediction?
Okay, um, give yours first if you have it off the
I
top of
have it
your head.
already.
Okay.
Mine is I'm going to go with unorthodox scores this time. But I'm going to give an ode to the Eagles defense. I'm going to say that they can stop the Lions half the time. So since 44 is the bar, I say Lions 22, Eagles 19.
Okay, Lions 33, Eagles 31.
So Lions 33 and Eagles 31. All right. So we'll see who is closest next week on Bob and Scott Talk Lions. This is episode 6. That'll be episode 7, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry you won't find out. You'll have to wait with bated breath or
What
other
is that?
option, watch the game.
What? So I'm going to be in California next week. My nephew Alex is getting married to Kirsten, and it's in California. So I'm going to be watching the game at 5:30 in the afternoon in my brother's house.
Mark Brown,
Mark Brown will be out there, and Dave Bird will be out there too.
Dave Bird.
So I don't know if he's going to stick around in San Francisco and watch the game. He actually lives in LA. So yeah, we will be doing a remote version of the Bob and Scott Talk Lions next Tuesday. For me, it'll be in the middle of the afternoon.
Okay.
So, but
Okay.
we'll figure it out. You get a computer, all right?
All
All
right.
right, cool.
I'll,
So,
I'll get one by then.
so long. This is Bob and Scott Talk Lions, and we can't wait to see you guys again. Bye.
Aloha.
Bye.